Hey, welcome to Team Hotel TV, Urban Bowl 2015 edition. To my right here, I have the great coaching staffs that have only one coach is remaining for the Urban Bowl, and that's Leo Mota. Let's give him a congratulations, fellas.
Congrats.
Good job, good job, good job.
I'm looking at you. Good.
But this week, we did a little change up for Championship Saturday. So this week, we're going to have the 12 p.m. game is going to be the Hall of Fame game. That's going to be 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. So Hall of Famers, if you want to participate in this game, you need to be at the field at 11:30. We got to get it rolling. We got to get started fast. We got a lot of stuff going on. At the halftime of the Hall of Fame game, we're going to have the best flag grabber contest. And in that contest, the contestants, I mean, these guys were beasts during the season. I mean, leading the way will be Julius Santos from the Eagles, Joshua Mason from the Panthers, Davon Manthe from the Panthers, Timothy Brownlee from the Ravens, Freddie Emil from the Raiders, Jock Shannon from the Raiders, and Ant Ruiz from the Packers.
Ruiz.
All right.
Who you guys think wins?
Wow, this is tough, man.
I think Jock wins this one. I think the way he's been playing, he averaged like 10 tackles in the middle. I think he wins this one.
Yeah, Jock does have the speed. If Joker ends up participating, the Joker's pretty good too, but I like Devon. Devon's pretty good with the flags, and Ant's an ultimate hustler too. I think it all depends on what the exact drills will be.
Yeah, but if it's like, if you got space and there's one guy chasing, I'm definitely taking Jock for his speed, and I know he can grab flags. I think Joker grabs a lot of flags, so the fact that he has helped around him helps him out even easier to grab flags.
Well,
I think a toss up between Josh or Davon. Right there, the two of them. You guys haven't even mentioned Josh. Watch Josh. He'll beat all them other dudes you mentioned.
Who's Josh?
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna remember his number 42.
That's right.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Yep.
Right.
So
So
we're gonna 11 tackles or something. What did you?
No, nothing about the kid. Never heard of him.
So we'll go right into the next event we're going to have, which will be the 1 o'clock. The 1 o'clock game will be the Rising Stars, and at the halftime of that game, we're going to have the Best Hands contest. And in that contest, we got KFC. First, before we go any forward, I need to make an apology to KFC's mother and godmother who were really coming at me because I said he was soft, S-O-F-T. He was soft, but he stepped it up.
Yes,
but
he did.
yeah, he stepped it up this year, except for the first round of playoffs. He didn't step it up.
He did step it up. He still had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah,
Wasn't enough.
it wasn't enough. All right, then we got George from the Panthers. We got Frank from the Packers, Miles from the Panthers, Renee from the Colts. I think he's a dark horse in this, and Jeff from the Raiders. Who you guys think?
I mean, it's what everybody wants to see. KFC and George going at each other. I mean, those are the two that put up the numbers to the end. I mean, we had a collapse with the Ravens, and KFC got to play the Saints to end out the season. So I say seeing them two head-to-head matchup is what we all want to see anyway, and I think it's going to be a great matchup.
Yeah, before I even move on, I think the only Panther player that is recognized in this league is George. It's the only name I'm familiar with. I'm pretty sure you agree with me. Every other player I don't know from the Panthers besides George. But I think I'll take KFC in this one. I just think he has humongous hands, and he's able to palm the ball like it's a basketball every other play. But I really like George, but I'm going to take KFC with this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys are underestimating some of these other guys in this competition for sure. I think
Frank.
Renee definitely, but Frank is amazing and he's fast. And I think even as good as people think he is, I think he's underrated in the league. And I think this will be a time he can really showcase his skills. Yeah, as far as with George, there's going to be no pressure. So I think George will probably have a good game in this one as well. But yeah, I mean, it's hard. I guess, again, I'm curious to see what these competitions are going to be because his hands are pretty huge. So.
Hey, I like the. I don't know about you guys, Chris and Buddy. I like the darker Leo. I think the darker Leo is much better.
Yeah, definitely cuter for sure.
Darker Leo.
You think so?
This Leo. I don't know what he's talking
don't
about. Come on, the only Panther that he knew about. Come on. All right. So then we jump from the Rising Stars game, and I didn't explain that to you. The Rising Stars game is the All-Star game for those players who are not seniors but are going to be stars in Team Hotel the upcoming years. Then we'll have the 2:30 game, which will be the Urban Bowl.
Yeah.
And this is the game, to me, we almost had a rematch of last year's game where we had almost had the Cowboys and the Raiders.
You forgot to mention all of the All-Stars. No, I'm joking. They're not. But check the site. They'll be on the site, right? Check the site.
They'll be on the site soon. Real soon.
He almost got us.
Sorry, let me wipe that down.
Yeah, write that down. That's why I almost didn't.
Okay, all right. So you're at the Urban Bowl. Continue.
So yeah, at the Urban Bowl, at the halftime of that game, we're going to have Timoteo's fastest man. And that's these kids who are just blazing fast. And on that contestant list, we got Nasir from the Panthers, Tashim from the Seahawks, George from the Panthers. I don't know, George, he's just squeaking in all these events. Wesley from the Eagles. I think that's my dark horse there. Brian from the Eagles, Esky from the Colts, Jeff from the Raiders, and Teddy from the Eagles. What do you guys think? Who you think?
Tashim and Nazir blow everybody out. It'll be them two, and everybody else will be kicking their dust.
I don't think the Eagles are going to participate, or I don't know if the coaches are going to let the Eagles participate. So yeah, I would say if your name is left off the list and you think you are fast, there might be an open spot.
That's
so
true.
let us know.
Spot. That's true.
But yeah,
don't waste their time if you're slow though.
Yeah, I don't know how fast you guys think George is slow. I don't know why he's on this
His
list.
legs are so long. He just takes a couple steps and he's there.
I'm gonna go back into the Dark Leo and agree with everything that Chris does, that the Dark Leo does. So I think that Tashim is definitely just gonna run by everybody else. No one else has a chance.
Nazir, you seen him, bro?
Not with Tashim. He's not in the same
Who is
company.
Nazir? Who's Nazir?
Nah.
Another unknown Panther.
Who? Oh, he played for the Panthers? I didn't know that. The only Panther I know is George.
That's it. They only hype George up. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's the only thing they got.
And again, just like Buddy said, being that there might be some holes in those spots, if you think you're the fastest player, and like Chris said, don't come up here,
Don't waste our time.
yeah, saying that you're fast and you know you run a 6 flat 40. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Then we go ahead to the 4 o'clock, 5 p.m. Senior Bowl game, and that's for every senior that's leaving Timoteo. We wanted to do something special for you guys. Every one of you guys that are seniors, whether you are all-star in your team, captain, whatever, you are going to be recognized in this game. You guys are going to play. We don't care how many comes out. All you guys just come out, and we'll work with the logistics on that. And at the halftime of that game, we got Timoteo's greatest quarterbacks. I know there's going to be a couple of Hall of Famers that wish they were in this. Mike Medina is one of them, but too bad Mike not in. And in that contest, we have Shane from the Packers, Randall from the Panthers, Mikey from the Seahawks, Musa from the Cards, Brian from the Eagles, Leroy from the Cowboys, and Smoke from the Raiders. So what you guys, who's your horse on this
You know
one?
what? I think the sleeper there is Musa. He hasn't done much in the season because of his team, but I think he comes in there and surprises everybody if he shows up. If he shows out, he's and also it should be noted too for the Senior Bowl. Everybody that comes is going to get a T-shirt that they can take home.
A Senior Bowl t-shirt, yeah.
Timoteo, and they'll say Senior Bowl underneath. It'll be real high,
Right.
and everybody will get one.
I mean, like Buddy been saying this entire video, it all depends on what the skill competition is really going to be. Like, what are the drills? What are the quarterbacks going to be doing? But I think I don't know. It's going to be a real tough one. We got some really good quarterbacks there. I mean, Shane had a heck of a year. I think Musa is definitely a sleeper because of the team he was on, but I think he might be one of the best quarterbacks in his league. You know, maybe Smoke bounces back from that playoff loss and, you know, he can prove himself, you know.
Right.
And then we got another sleeper who didn't start at quarterback, but he's really hot. He's in the Urban Bowl now, Leroy. So, I mean, it's going to be a real tough competition there. And I'm still wrapping my head around that. I don't know who I'm going to go with for that one.
If it has to do anything with smarts, I think it eliminates half the competition. But I think Shane would definitely be up there if it comes to intelligence as far as making the right reads in the game.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say who.
Right reads, he would have been playing this week in the Urban Bowl.
He did great. Shane did great.
Yeah,
it was the defense kind of let us down, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what some of these other quarterbacks' decision making. If it has to do with quick decision making, they're going to falter for sure.
Off that list?
I'm not crossing off names off the list. I'm just saying. I'm not going to say who. I'm not mentioning any name. I'm just saying that some people might be, at a disadvantage. You know what I mean?
If you think you belong
Why are
there.
you looking over here? And you said, don't be looking at my screen. You got a screen right there.
I'm just trying to watch, man. Just trying to watch.
I hear you. I mean, so before we get into our prediction for the Urban Bowl, how do you guys feel about these conference final games that we played last week? Where we had the first game, the Raiders and Eagles, which I mean ended out into a very strong contested game.
Yeah, I mean both games were a touchdown difference, which is amazing, and that's really what we want. I think it's great to be able to go deep into a season. Really, I think 6 of the 8 teams that were in the grade 8 could have won this thing. And again, unfortunately, it's the big 3. I mean, it's the big 3 that are in it every year, have always been in it, and will probably always be in it. And I think it's this game is going to be a great one that's come up, and just like the last 2 games were great ones. So.
I just want to tip my head off to the big 3, how, you know, we were able to stay strong and get through adversity and still be here, you know. we be the ones playing in this championship game again. I know these guys don't like that, but I mean, you need to do a little more than just yelling on the sideline to the refs to get there.
Leo, let me interject. You did have a lot of adversity. I have to commend you on how you brought your team together in the playoffs because you had a lot of chaos going on with you during the.
But it's not just me. You know, I got coaching staff and I got a general manager that helps me. You know, and then the kids themselves being there before being in these playoff and championship. So you know, together as a team, we were able to get through this. But like I said, I want to tip my head off to the big three. And also to the Packers, you know, I mean, they was there, and like Chris said, it was only a touchdown before, you know, it could have been the Packers in it, or even the Raiders.
Chris? Would you say you would agree with Chris?
About the other teams?
No, what you just said, would you agree with Chris?
On what? Agree with Chris on what?
You always agree with me. Just agree with me.
That's the Dark Leo. See, the Dark Leo's not here today. But I mean, the Eagles defense, I'm not surprised they had the #1 defense in the league, and they showed up. I just thought that, I never thought it would have been a 13-7 game. I thought it would have been at least in the 20s. So, I mean, that game was really impressive to have two different games, an offensive game at the late game and a defensive game in the first half. I think it was pretty decent on Saturday. I think we had a heck of a conference championship playoff.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. Both games were real competitive. That it comes down to a call can determine a game. So you have to, you cannot leave room for error for the referees to control this game. You got to control the whole. Because in both games, there were I think in the Raiders, they had a pick six that could have changed the whole dynamic of the game. The referee blew an early whistle. In the Packers game, it was some other controversial calls that could have kind of went either way. So you cannot blame the refs. The refs are gonna be what the refs has been all year. You just got to come and make more plays. And
that early whistle that the referee blew in that first game, that worked out for the Raiders because that was a pick six for the Eagles.
No, that was a pick six for the Raiders. Yeah. So that would have given them momentum, take a little pressure off the smoke.
Yeah.
So it's just tough.
That deep ball too that Jock had on the sideline was controversial too. We didn't know if he was in or out.
Yeah.
But I mean that happens. You know, that's why when you playing in these situations as a team, you don't want to give the ref the decision to make these kind of calls. You want to sit there and try to not have such a close game and try to separate it. So therefore, you have the game in your hand.
Well, I think the refs did a heck of a job all season, and I think that in the playoffs they made some good calls. I mean, we're all human. People are going to make mistakes. We make mistakes as coaches.
That's a company man right there.
I'm just
Who's your
saying.
favorite ref?
Who's my favorite ref? I don't have favorite refs.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a favorite ref. No, not at all.
Right. Wait a minute, wasn't he reffing in that game, in the Raiders game?
I was.
Did you blow the whistle? Oh, okay, all right. You want to throw somebody under the bus?
No, I'm not going to
Okay, all right.
It was not me. It was not me.